Hello friends, welcome to Prashant IAS. So friends, in the last class, we have completed our discussion with Shadow Cabinet, and from this class, we will continue our discussion further. So friends, from this class, we will start our discussion with Attorney General of India. Okay, so Attorney General of India, and we will call him in short AGI. Okay, so whenever I will call AGI, so you should understand that I am talking about Attorney General of India. So friends, first of all, the question arises that who is AGI? Okay, who is Attorney General of India? So our first question is that who is Attorney General of India or who is AGI? So friends, the answer to this question is Attorney General of India is the first law officer. Attorney General of India is the first law officer of Government of India. Okay. So who is Attorney General of India? So Attorney General of India is the first law officer of Government of India. Now friends, what is the meaning of this statement that AGI is the first law officer of Government of India? So the meaning of this statement is that Attorney General of India is the senior most, okay, Attorney General of India is the senior most law officer of the Government of India. Attorney General of India is the senior most law officer of the Government of India. Okay. Now friends, our next question is that who appoints AGI? Okay, so our next question is that who appoints Attorney General of India. Okay, so friends, the answer to this question is that Attorney General of India is appointed by the President of India. Okay, so who appoints him? So the President of India appoints the Attorney General of India. Okay, so our question is that who appoints Attorney General of India, and the answer to this question is that AGI or Attorney General of India is appointed by the President of India. Now friends, here one thing you need to keep in mind that Attorney General of India holds his office during the pleasure of the President. Okay, so AGI holds his office during the pleasure of the President. Now what does it mean when I say that AGI holds his office during the pleasure of the President? So this means that President of India, okay, President of India can remove Attorney General of India from his post anytime. Okay, so President of India can remove Attorney General of India from his post anytime. Means until President is happy with AGI, until President of India is happy with Attorney General of India, till then Attorney General of India holds his post. But if President of India gets angry with Attorney General of India, then President can remove AGI from his post. Okay, so you have to keep this in mind that AGI holds his office during the pleasure of the President. Now friends, then the next question is that what is the maximum tenure of Attorney General of India? Okay, so what is the maximum tenure of Attorney General of India? So the answer to this question is that the maximum tenure of Attorney General of India is 3 years. Okay, means a person can hold the office of AGI, a person can hold the office of Attorney General of India for a maximum time period of 3 years. After the expiry of 3 years period, the person has to leave the post of Attorney General of India. Okay, so what is the maximum tenure? What is the maximum tenure of AGI? So the maximum tenure of Attorney General of India is 3 years. Now friends, we have next question. So what is our next question? So our next question is, what is the qualification to be appointed as Attorney General of India? Okay, so what is the qualification? What is the qualification to become Attorney General of India? So what is the answer to this question? So the answer to this question is that a person should be qualified to be appointed as the judge of Supreme Court. Okay, so a person should be qualified to be appointed as the Supreme Court judge, and only when a person is qualified to be appointed as Supreme Court judge, then only he can be appointed as the Attorney General of India by the President of India. Okay, so a person must be at least qualified to become the judge of Supreme Court, and only when a person is qualified to become the judge of Supreme Court, then only he can become the Attorney General of India. Now friends, what is the qualification to become the Judge of Supreme Court? This we will discuss when I will teach you about the Indian judiciary. For the time being, you just understand that to become the Attorney General of India, a person must be qualified to become the Judge of Supreme Court. So friends, now let us discuss about the duties of Attorney General of India. Okay, so what are the duties of AGI? So friends, the first duty of Attorney General of India is to advise the government of India on all legal matters. Okay, so what is the first duty of Attorney General of India? The first duty of Attorney General of India is to give advice to government of India on all the legal matters. Okay, so what does it mean? What does it mean when I say that it is the duty of Attorney General of India to give advice to Government of India on all the legal matters? So friends, let's suppose if Government of India is in some legal trouble. Okay, so let's suppose Government of India is confused on a big question of law. Government of India is in a big legal trouble. Okay, so Government of India is just confused on a question of law. Then who will help the government? Okay, so in this condition, who will help the government? So Attorney General of India will help and advise the government of India in this situation. Okay, so whenever government of India will find itself in a legal trouble, okay, so legal trouble means a trouble related to law, a trouble related to constitution and other laws. Okay, so as I have told you that constitution is also the fundamental law of the country, so basically constitution is also a law. So if government faces any problem regarding law, okay, if government faces any problem regarding law, then who will help the government? Who will advise the government? Then in this condition, it is the duty of the Attorney General of India to help the government and to advise the government. Okay, so I hope that you are now very clear with the first duty of Attorney General of India. Now let's move further. Now friends, what is the second duty of Attorney General of India? So friends, Attorney General of India or AGI represents Union. Okay, Attorney General of India or AGI represents Union and states before the court. Okay, so the second duty of the Attorney General of India, is to represent union government and state governments before the court. Now what is the meaning of this statement? What do I want to say when I say that Attorney General of India represents union and state governments before the court? So friends, the meaning of this statement is, let's suppose if a person, okay, or any organization, okay, so for the sake of understanding, let's assume there is a person. Okay, so let's suppose that this is a person. Okay, now friends, this person has sued union government in the Supreme Court. Okay, now what does it mean? It means that this person has simply put a case against government of India in the Supreme Court of the country. Okay, so let's suppose friends, if there is a conflict between a person and government of India. Let's suppose that there is a conflict between a person and government of India. Okay, so now definitely we know that this person is weak and government is very, very powerful. Government has police, government has army, government has money, government has everything, but this person does not have anything. Okay, and if there is any conflict between this person and government of India, then definitely government will try to exploit this person. So in this case, what this person can do, that this person can directly approach Supreme Court. Okay, so for example, if the fundamental right of this person is violated, okay, so a person can only directly approach Supreme Court on the basis of the violation of his fundamental rights. Okay, so let's suppose if any fundamental right of this person is violated by the government of India, then this person will directly approach to the Supreme Court of the country. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that this person has filed a case in the Supreme Court against the government of India. Okay, so there is a case in the Supreme Court against the government of India. So now friends, Attorney General of India will fight this case on behalf of government of India. Okay, so Attorney General of India will fight this case in the Supreme Court on behalf of government of India. Now what does it mean? It means that Attorney General will act as advocate. Okay, so in simple language we can also say that Attorney General is the advocate of union government and state governments. Attorney General is the advocate of union government and state governments. Okay, so if a person has filed a case against the government of India or against any state government, okay, so this can be any state government also. Okay, so if a person has filed a case against government of India or any state government in the Supreme Court or any high court, okay, so if the person has filed any case in the court of law against the government of India or any state government, then Attorney General of India will fight the case. Okay, Attorney General of India will fight the case on behalf of government of India or the state government. So this is the second duty of the Attorney General of India. Okay, so what is the second duty of Attorney General of India? So the second duty of Attorney General of India is that if a person or any organization puts a case against government of India or any state government, okay, in the court, then who will fight that case? Who will fight that case on behalf of the government? So the Attorney General of India will fight the case on behalf of the government. Okay, so in the simple language, in the simplest language, we can say that Attorney General of India is the advocate. Okay, he is the advocate of the government. So this is the second duty of the Attorney General of India. Now friends, here one thing you need to keep in mind, that Attorney General of India can also do private practice. Okay, Attorney General of India can also do private practice. Now what does it mean? It means that Attorney General of India can also fight the case in the court of law for any private individual also. Okay, so he can also take the case of any private individual. Okay, but the condition is that other party should not be the state. State means union government or the state governments. Okay, so if other party is not union government or state government, then Attorney General of India can even take the case for any private individual. Now what does it mean? So let's suppose friends, this is a person. Okay, now suppose, and let's suppose the name of this person is Lallu. Okay, so what is the name of this person? The name of this person is Lallu. And friends, let's suppose that there is another person, and the name of this another person is, let's suppose, Jack. Okay, so what happened, that there happened a conflict between Lallu and Jack. Okay, and what Lallu did, Lallu filed a case in the court of law against Jack. Okay, means there is a case against Jack in the court of law. Okay, now friends, let's suppose that this Jack approached Attorney General of India and he said that, please sir, you fight the case on behalf of me and I will pay you your fees. Okay, so I will pay you any fees, but as I know that you are a very good lawyer, as I know that you are a very good advocate, because actually government has appointed you. Okay, so you are a very worthy person, so please fight the case on behalf of me, and I am an innocent person, so please save me. Okay, and this person, this Lallu, is saying wrong thing. Okay, so now friends, in this case the Attorney General of India can fight the case in the court of law on behalf of Jack. Okay, so what do I want to explain is, Attorney General of India can take the cases of private individuals also. Now friends, let's suppose second condition. So what is the second condition? The second condition is, now let's suppose that the first party is Jack. Okay, so first party is Jack, but now the second party in the case is, let's suppose government of India. Okay, so the second party is government of India. So in this case, Attorney General of India is duty bound to fight the case on behalf of government of India. Now Attorney General of India cannot fight the case on behalf of private individual. Why? Because Attorney General of India is the first law officer of the government of India. So if the another party is state, then Attorney General of India has to fight the case on behalf of state. Okay, state means a government of India or any state government. Okay, so now I hope that you must be very clear with the duties of the Attorney General of India. Now friends, our next question is that what is the salary of Attorney General of India? What is the salary of AGI? Okay, so now let me make you very clear that Attorney General of India is not paid any salary. Okay, so this is definitely a shocking fact, but this is a fact that Attorney General of India does not receive any salary. Okay, but friends, the money, okay, now you will ask that, sir, then how government pays Attorney General of India for his work? Okay, definitely. Why? Because if Attorney General of India is working for the government of India, then he must receive money for his work. Okay, nobody will work without money, because we need money for our survival. Okay, we need money for our survival. So Attorney General of India is also a person, so he also needs money. Okay, so friends, the money which Attorney General of India receives for his work, this money is known as retainer. Okay, so the money which Attorney General of India, receives for his work is known as retainer. Okay, so now you have to keep this in your mind that Attorney General of India does not receive any salary. He is paid with retainer. Okay, so definitely this is a tricky question, so this can be asked in your prelims exam. Okay, so please try to keep this in your mind that Attorney General of India does not receive any salary, but he receives retainer for his work. Now friends, the retainer of Attorney General of India is fixed by the President of India. Okay, now what does it mean? It means that President of India decides that how much money should be paid to the Attorney General of India as the retainer. Okay, so who decides the retainer of the Attorney General of India? President of India decides the retainer of the Attorney General of India. And friends, generally what happens that the retainer paid to the Attorney General of India is equivalent to the salary of Supreme Court judge. Okay, so it is a general practice that the retainer paid to Attorney General of India is equivalent to the salary paid to the Supreme Court judge. Okay, so friends, this is all about the financial gains to the Attorney General of India for his work. Now let's move further. So friends, now let us discuss about the privileges given to Attorney General of India. Okay, so now our question is that what privileges are given to Attorney General of India? Okay, so friends, Attorney General of India enjoys the privileges and immunities of a member of parliament. Okay, MP means member of parliament. So Attorney General of India enjoys all the privileges and immunities which are given to the member of parliament. Now what is the meaning of privileges or immunities? So for example friends, the member of parliament cannot be arrested during the session of parliament, and 40 days before the beginning and 40 days after the end of the session. However, this privilege is available in civil cases only, not in criminal cases. Okay, so this is a kind of privilege which is given to member of parliament, that any member of parliament cannot be arrested during the session of the parliament. Okay, any member of parliament cannot be arrested 40 days before the beginning and 40 days after the end of the session of parliament. Okay, and this privilege is given to all the member of parliament in the civil cases. Okay, so Attorney General. Okay, so now here we are talking about Attorney General of India. So Attorney General enjoys the privileges, all the privileges which are given to the Member of Parliament. Okay. Now friends, Attorney General of India is entitled to take part in the proceedings of the Parliament as well as in the proceedings of the parliamentary committees. Okay, so now Attorney General of India can take part in the proceedings of the Parliament. Now what does it mean? So for example, let's suppose if the proceeding of the Lok Sabha is going on, okay, or if the proceedings of the Rajya Sabha are going on, okay, then Attorney General of India has the right to attend, to take part in the proceedings of the Lok Sabha as well as in the proceedings of the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so in short we can say that Attorney General of India can take part in the proceedings of the Parliament. But friends, here one thing you need to remember, and this thing is that Attorney General of India do not have the right to vote in the proceedings of the Parliament. Okay, so Attorney General of India can only attend the proceedings of the Parliament as the audience, but he cannot give his vote. Okay, so he does not have right to vote, but he has the right to attend the proceedings of the Parliament. Now friends, then the Attorney General of India enjoys right to audience in all the courts of India. Okay, so Attorney General has the right to audience in all the courts of India. Now what does it mean? So for example, let's suppose the proceedings of a court is taking place. Okay, so let's suppose the hearing of a case is going on in the court. Okay, so let's suppose that the hearing of a case is going on in the court. Okay, so now friends, in this condition, Attorney General of India has the right to sit in the court and to hear that proceedings. Okay, to watch that proceedings, to watch that hearing as the audience. So we can say that Attorney General has the right to audience in all the courts of India. Means if there is any hearing in any court of India, I am talking any court of India, then Attorney General of India can go there and watch the hearing of the case. Okay, so we can say that Attorney General of India enjoys right to audience in all the courts of India. Now friends, my next question is that what will happen if the previous government has resigned and a new government is formed. Okay, now friends, in the previous classes I have told you that if Lok Sabha is dissolved, okay, if Lok Sabha is dissolved, okay, then what will happen? The second condition is that if Prime Minister dies, okay, if Prime Minister dies or he resigns from his post. Okay, so what will happen in this condition? That if Prime Minister dies or he resigns from his post. And the third condition is that if Council of Ministers means government, if Council of Ministers loses majority in Lok Sabha. Okay, so Council of Ministers loses majority in Lok Sabha. So what will happen in all these three conditions? So our first condition is that if Lok Sabha is dissolved. Second condition is if Prime Minister dies or he resigns. The third condition is that if Council of Ministers loses majority in Lok Sabha. So in the previous lecture also I have explained you that in all these three conditions what will happen, that government will fall. Government will fall means entire Council of Ministers will be removed from its office. Entire Council of Ministers will be removed from its office. So we can say that government is okay. So we can say that government has fallen. Okay, so definitely friends, in all these three conditions government will fall, and falling of the government means that Council of Ministers will be removed from its office. Now friends, if the Council of Ministers is removed from its office, okay, now listen to me carefully. If the Council of Ministers is removed from his office due to any reason, okay, so if Council of Ministers is removed from its office due to any reason, then according to the convention, Attorney General of India also resigns with the fall of the government. Okay, so if the Council of Ministers is removed, then Attorney General of India will also be removed. Okay, so if Council of Ministers is removed, then Attorney General of India will also be removed. And friends, when new government will be formed, then the new government or the new Council of Ministers will appoint their new Attorney General of India. Okay, so if the Council of Ministers is removed from its office, then Attorney General of India will also be removed from his office. And when the new Council of Ministers will be formed after the fresh Lok Sabha elections, then this new Council of Ministers will choose their new Attorney General of India. Okay. So friends, we can conclude that as per convention, after the change of the government, Attorney General of India also resigns, and the new government appoints their own Attorney General of India. Okay, so after the fall of the government, or we can say that after the change of the government, Attorney General of India also resigns. Okay, and he does so according to convention. Okay, and the new government appoints their own Attorney General of India. So friends, now let's move further. Now friends, our next question is that whether Attorney General of India is a government servant or not. Okay, so what is our next question? Our next question is that whether the Attorney General of India is a government servant or not. So friends, the answer to this question is that Attorney General of India is not a government servant. Okay, so what is the answer to this question? The answer to this question is that Attorney General of India, AGI, is not a government servant. He is not a government servant. Now friends, you have to keep in mind that Attorney General of India is also not a full-time councillor of the government of India. Okay, so Attorney General of India is not a full-time Attorney General of India is not a full-time councillor of government of India. Okay, now what is the meaning of councillor here? So councillor means legal advisor. Okay, so I have taught you in the beginning of the lecture that it is the duty of the Attorney General of India to give advice to the government of India on any legal matter. Okay, so Attorney General of India is a legal advisor of the government of India. But friends, here you have to keep in mind that he is not a full-time legal advisor. He is not a full-time legal advisor. He is not a full-time councillor of the government of India. He is only a part-time councillor of the government of India. Means when government will call him, then only he will give the advice to the government. Okay, and I have also told you that he can also do his private practice. Okay, so I have also told you that he can also do his private practice. Means he is neither a government servant nor he is a full-time councillor of the government of India. He will only give advice to the government of India when government will call him. Now friends, let's move forward to our next question. So our next question is that which article of the Indian Constitution talks about the Attorney General of India? Okay, so the answer to this question is Article 76. Okay, so Article 76 of the Indian Constitution talks about the Attorney General of India. Means the provisions related to the Attorney General of India are given under Article 76 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so here we are studying Article 76. Okay, here we are studying Article 76 of the Indian Constitution. Why? Because provisions relating to the Attorney General of India are given under Article 76 of the Indian Constitution. Now friends, here you have to keep one thing in mind, that the office of Attorney General of India is also a office of profit. Okay, so you just keep in mind that his office is also a office of profit. Now friends, let's move further. Now friends, Attorney General of India is assisted by two Solicitor Generals. Okay, so Attorney General of India is assisted by two Solicitor Generals. Okay, so this Solicitor General and this second Solicitor General, what they will do, their work is to assist the Attorney General of India. Their work is to help the Attorney General of India. Okay, so here you can assume, here you can understand like that this is the Attorney General of India, and two solicitor generals of India, and these two solicitor generals of India, they work under Attorney General of India. And what is the work of solicitor generals? The work of solicitor general of India is to assist the Attorney General of India. Okay, so there are two solicitor generals of India whose work is to assist the Attorney General of India. Now friends, after that, each solicitor general, okay, so I have told you that there are two solicitor generals, so each solicitor general is further assisted by two additional solicitor generals. Okay, so this solicitor general will also be assisted by two additional solicitor generals, and this solicitor general will also be assisted by two additional solicitor generals. Okay, so what they will do, they will assist solicitor general. Now friends, here one thing you have to keep in your mind, and that thing is the post of additional solicitor general. The post of additional solicitor general is not a constitutional post. Okay, so it is not a constitutional post, but it is a statutory post. Statutory post means that post is created by the parliament. Okay, so parliament has created that post. Okay, so the post of additional solicitor general is not a constitutional post, but it is a statutory post created by the parliament. So friends, with this, the topic of Attorney General of India is now complete. Okay, so now the topic of Attorney General of India is completed. So friends, that's all for today. If you have enjoyed the lecture, then please like the video, comment, subscribe the channel, press the bell icon and share this channel to all the people you know who are preparing for UPSC. You can download the notes from the link given in description as well as from my website prashantias.com. Friends, now we will meet in next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you.